I'm on the mic because I'm going through Coach East through this drive.
Hello,
Listening on the garage.
Sammy Show on GB News, sponsored by Sammy Studios, the #1 Roblox asset. Can be found at sammystudios.co.uk. Price is so good they'll blow your mind. Like Conor Novak's Royal Military Police are currently blowing protesters' minds with bullets. So it's been over a year since our last stream, and clearly this group has steadily digressed over the last couple of months. To recap, if you don't know, Labour won the last democratic election and entered into a coalition with Voice, bringing their seat total to 25. Then, the Labour Voice government actually won their King's Speech. However, after diluted cries from our favourite stupid American, Doug Demande, I don't know, he's irrelevant anyway, immense man was placed on the speaker to A, eject Trito not Trito, the leader of Voice, for apparently crossing the chamber, and B, commit to a revote. Now this is where it gets very suspicious. The Daily Mail recently uncovered game screenshots from the state opening, showing parliamentary clerks demanding that Trito not Trito be ejected, which would have given sufficient reason for a revote. The clerk in question stated that it's Conor's order, not mine, and Conor, as a Parliament admin, is always pulling the strings of Parliament. Then the revote fails, and Dean asks the King to dissolve Parliament for a snap election, which he does. This is where things get super interesting, and I have to let you know now, I have a lot of GB News Sammy Show OSA sources around this event, so we know everything. So the King, in the Electoral Commission chat, asked the 6 parties to try and merge to make, I don't know, more unity and stop the division that we had in the last election. This was a wholly unreasonable demand to force upon parties in a day's notice. After this request was rejected, the King Tormentium, also known as King George, announces that his best mate, Conor Novak, Cringe, has entered government with esteemed note the sarcasm there, esteemed, in quotation marks, members of the House of Lords. Now, my viewers, this is where my Roblox blood absolutely boils. I had to do a walk before this broadcast to cool down after heavily researching and tapping into my OSA sources. How can the king, a supposed rogue politics expert, decide to penalise the commons for making a mistake rather than helping them improve? We've heard that the deadly duo of Connor and King George, Tormentium, comment many times in their cringe election nights about how experienced and smart they are compared to new generation's MPs. Let's not forget that Connor was elected PM during the era when an election would only have 80 voters, compared to current elections which have over 500. This just goes to show how out of touch and irrelevant he is, and it's probably why he's got so little support currently. All these events just show how elite Joseph was as a monarch. His supposed negligence of Parliament actually caused Parliament to be the most sovereign it has ever been. A new wave of politicians, including myself and figures like Andre Hodge, experienced Parliament without the classic group staff antics, which many people probably remember. You know the thing that I find the funniest though? King George Tormentium and Connor experienced how destabilising it was for group staff to be entering cabinets, blurring the lines between group staff and politics. This was even banned, yet surprise surprise they broke their own rules. And it's a wonder why people like Dan Neem choose to prosecute men of the people like Andre rather than this government who are actively breaking the laws of the crown. One might suggest that Dan Neem was perhaps committing a bit of ass licking and penis sucking. This reckless decision to destroy democracy has not just destabilised the UK. South Africa, an apartheid state led by cringe Roblox racists, has started attacking Hong Kong in international feeds. Both countries are in the Commonwealth. And what does the PM Novak do about this? He invites South African representatives to Downing Street. Our top secret OSA sources have also revealed that Conor Novak shunned the South African president, failing to invite him as he is a Hong Kong developer. So in terms that you and me can clearly understand, Novak and Cathcart are supporting a racist regime within the Commonwealth. Before I continue further, I want to invite the chairman of the Democratic Front, Andre Hodge, to explain his organisation. Firstly though, Andre, can you give any thoughts to this cringe charge of treason that little Dan Neem placed upon you?
Well, I mean, I can't exactly, I guess, refute the charge, but I mean, it is kind of cringe that he's gone out of his way to just privately, try and get me banned from the group permanently.
Wait, was it not like a government
he
thing?
did this? He did this off of his own accord. I'm sure the government would have at some point.
But this is him personally doing it.
This is him, but he like sent me some like. He was like, "Oh, did you write this letter?" And I could. It was pretty clear what he was trying to do. So I was like, "I don't know, did I?" And then he was all like, "Oh, for my own peace of mind, I don't trust the news and all that. Could you tell me?" And then like 10 minutes later, he just sent me a document saying that I've been indicted, which you know, I'm no stranger to. And that I was being taken to court by Dan Neem, for treason. Which is always nice.
Yeah,
because
all
that's
the
right in the Lords, and we all know that's gonna end.
Of all like the cringiest subgroups, I think anyone in the MOJ, except for like Barry Rourke, has to accept that they must have some form of autism to actively be playing Lego lore, because it just doesn't. I just can't get my head around the fact that someone would actually go out of their way to think it's fun to go and write some like 12-page document about Lego.
You've got goats like Shalix and Barry, bro. Come on, man. You can't be doing this.
Sure, there's some cool people there, but the others, they're just utter degenerates in the nicest way possible. I
didn't even know Dan Neem was that big in lore. I just thought he was some LAS guy. But
it's so cringy.
As Amber Heard's lawyers said, you know that this trial is going to be televised, right? You get your 50 minutes of fame. And I think that's what's happening here. Yeah.
Nice. So, can you tell us more about your democratic organisation movement thing?
Yeah. So the Democratic Front is basically just people who are pretty unhappy that Conor Novak has just sort of waltzed in after being appointed by his best friend, the King, and has become an unelected prime minister with an extremely cringe cabinet because it is shaking it.
Yeah.
So people are pretty unhappy about that, and basically we want to have a bit of fun, exploit the situation to have a little bit of fun, have riots on Westbridge and give RMP a bit of fun as well because obviously they get to shoot us
everyone.
and we get to shoot them and
Yeah.
police shoot us and whatnot. So yeah, I mean it's like a win-win situation unless your name is Dan Neem. Because you're sitting in the corner with Shake and Norrie Collins with your blood boiling. That how dare someone have fun on a Roblox game?
It's outrageous, really, isn't it?
Yeah, really bad. Yeah.
So, what's like your plan moving forward with this movement? Are you going to turn it into like a political party? Are you going to morph it into anything else? Or
I mean, that's kind of all up in the air right now. I'm trying to make it more sort of formal. So we've got like a people's parliament, and we got like a congress. So you can so there's like 11 people are being elected to sort of speak for everyone and to debate and to create a more united policy for the movement moving forward. So it can it can, I guess, negotiate with the government, and we can have a more sort of concrete list of demands moving forward. So hopefully we should achieve something. But worst case scenario is we just have more fun shooting people on Westbridge, and the police have more fun shooting us on Westbridge. And
nice. So earlier today, about 5 minutes ago, the Conservative Party put out a message that they'd held a protest against the Lords. Do you think more political parties should be holding these protests to show their lack of support?
Yeah, I mean, I've no issue with it. I mean, aside from the fact like 5 people turned up from what I saw.
I mean, in the picture, there's like 8. I mean.
Yeah, but oh really? Yeah, but I'm sure like 3 civilians probably joined in.
Yeah, to be fair.
But yeah, I think it's good. Like, obviously they're the elected representatives, or should be before they were ousted. But I think that they shouldn't just sort of roll over and give in, and should continue to make their voices heard, even if it's outside of the formal means.
Yeah, and I think one of the best ways we're going to be doing this, or your movement's going to be doing this, is through the rally on Saturday. Can you tell us a bit more about that? Or
the what?
The rally you're holding on Saturday.
Oh yeah, the rally. Yeah, I mean, if any of you guys came to the Lib Dem rally, back in the day, the Lib Dem rally or whatever it was back then, it's basically just going to be a round 2 of that. So we're gonna have the priest. Hopefully he's not gonna do a Hitler speech this time. We're gonna vet the priest. It's not gonna be some Irish Nazi again. We're gonna have the mascot. We're gonna have the plane. Basically, I'm going on a tour to Rwanda first to book out my accommodation because that's where I guess I'm gonna be going after I'm deported after the trial. So I'm going there. I'm stopping off on at Hong Kong on the way just to visit Blokeston and to visit all of the wonderful people there who proclaim the correct monarch, King Joseph, my king. Love you Joseph. What is he? And then I'm going to be coming back to Slough Airport, and we're going to hold a rally there. We're going to have the priest. We're going to have the mascot. All the pyrotechnics, and yeah,
Brilliant.
it should be fun.
So Kian, you're here currently, aren't you, Kian?
Yeah, I am.
So, aren't you currently running for like Lib Dem leader?
Yeah, I did say I'd run for it. Yeah.
So, what's like your big plans for the Lib Dems then? If you get elected to be leader?
Well, if I was elected, we're gonna turn the Lib Dems around. We're gonna turn them into the party of a radical reform. All right, we want a referendum on the Lords. We want a referendum on the monarchy. We want to restore relations with Canada and Hong Kong. And we just want to change everything because, as I think Andre said, it's a mess. And this government is a joke.
What do you think of Reba then running against you? Do you think she's serious competition?
No, yeah. To be fair, she'll probably win. She's been in the Lib Dems a lot longer than me. Probably has a lot more support than me. But
lost every single election.
Well, she's the establishment. I'm the outsider, and I'm trying to push for this reform because we need to sort our country out.
Brilliant. So last night,
why's this guy laughing, man?
Because we're doing a Lego political debate. You can't not laugh. So last night, we had Connor like what did he do? He put slow-mos on all the channels and then like deleted the political discussion channel for a bit. What do you think about that?
Well, that's disgusting. We should have freedom to speech in this country. That Discord server, that's where the only reason they've done that is because there's not a single person. Well, there's that one guy who keeps backing up this government. Everyone is against it.
Yeah, but
Get them gone.
Get them
Can
gone
I-
indeed.
Can I just add something there? Right, we saw Connor use his admin powers to get the King's speech to fail because he banned a Trito after the speaker
Corruption.
refused his direct order to eject him, which meant that the King's speech failed. And now he's using his powers as group staff to suppress the people and suppress, freedom of speech and the dissent against him. So I think this is a prime example of why we don't have group staff leading governments, because he's very clearly just using his powers as an admin to sort of suppress everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I'm sure Connor was the driving force behind the recent movement to have members of group staff not actually allowed in the House of Lords, because I think it was last year, people like Jeff and Wild Boy all had to give up their seats in the House of Lords because of Connor saying that group staff shouldn't be sat there, and yet here he is now leading a Lords government as a member of group staff. It's him being a massive hypocrite as usual, because he's there constantly making his own rules. Because I don't know if you remember this, but when I was leading whatever party I was leading in opposition, I don't actually remember Lib Dems. Yeah. He was going and he was changing the rules constantly about strikes and how it works, so that when normally, if you had an MP get 3 strikes, you'd be able to replace them. He would just take my seats away, which was him just making up rules. And I told him this, and I showed him the proof that he was just making it up. And he's like, no, exactly. He's just like, no, I'm in charge. And I think this is what Connor's been like for ages, because he's just been left to run Parliament.
Well,
He thinks he can just get away with anything. And now, look where we are.
they did the same with the civil service, but the cabinet secretary is the Home Secretary. The permanent secretary of the Foreign Office is the Foreign Secretary. Like they're breaking every rule.
It's because those individuals are also lords, because I just don't think they should be. I think if you're a
They're
civil
not meant to be
servant,
political.
Yeah.
exactly, and
I
they're
agree.
doing a explicitly political role, it undermines the entire point of having the system.
Yeah, that's facts, bro.
Exactly,
Remember when Sheikh was like 2 different
bro. He's got about
permanent
200
secretaries
jobs
as
anyway.
well. He was like
Exactly.
2 different permanent secretaries.
Isn't
Yeah,
he like
I
Attorney
I'd just
General
like to
or
actually congratulate Sheikh, because he does indeed have a real life girlfriend, as he made very very clear to me earlier.
To be
today.
fair, if you if you're looking at the UN Fitness channel,
4 people
Uh,
can provide evidence
4
that
people
Sheikh
have
doesn't
fucking heard his girlfriend.
indeed have a real girlfriend, guys. Outside, this is a certified. We're not talking about key in here. It is gentlemen's clubs or anything. We're talking about outside of Roblox,
real girlfriend. To be fair, he is like actually jacked in real life. So
Bro's a
fair game
gym
to him.
lad, bro. Bro's a gym
No,
lad.
he was talking to me
Too
the
much
other
it's
day.
from typing, isn't it? Typing too many laws.
He's got really strong fingers. Bro doesn't miss a finger day, bro. So he can spam out those laws, bro. He can spam out.
You should
those
see his fingers there; they're machines.
What a Chad, man.
Who else is in the Lord's government? I haven't actually looked. Like,
Zoraby is
well,
like Home Secretary, but I don't understand that because I thought he'd be Chancellor.
Who's
I
the
thought he-
Chancellor?
I don't remember.
stupid.
I think it's Ty, isn't it?
Isn't he group staff?
Yeah, ties
yeah.
group stuff again,
Of course
and then
Oh,
it's because it's all one big friendship group, is what it is, and I think that's probably been the biggest issues with the UK. Well, for the last couple of years, really, you used to have
Tribalism.
friendship groups like coming in and out of power constantly, and like rivaling against each other. So
We're no
I think-
exception, to be fair.
I know exactly.
We're no
We're an
exception,
example,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
BF is running in exactly the same way, where it's friendship groups against other friendship groups in different positions.
It's called
So-
tribalism.
Exactly, and it's a
Yeah.
massive issue in this group where people just don't get along at all.
that's been for ages, to be honest.
Yeah.
and
I don't see an issue with that, to be fair. I like they're not getting along,
yeah, it
Shake
just make
each
it
other
make
the
things
old rough and
interesting.
tumble. We have a bit of here and there, so it's alright.
Yeah, but I think it's an issue when it crosses over into things like this, where you have friendship groups who are running the group quite literally as group staff, and then also pulling strings as government because they've made their friends in charge.
It's an
And
issue when you get Noah Ray Collins who you really do not want to talk to at all. You have no desire to talk to because you find him extremely dry and boring, constantly tagging you because you're like arguing with Shake. Like, bro, please, just leave me alone. I have no desire to talk with you whatsoever.
Yeah, so did you see the most recent Daily Mail post where it was one of their, like, I don't know, news people? They were talking to Kamala, who's the Speaker of the House, and Kamala's explicitly said now that she was ordered to hold the revote and make sure that the government lost it by Connor. So
That's bad.
Look, I don't believe for 1 second that this was not a pre-planned thing. I mean, there is no way that Connor is actively trying to get the King's Speech to fail and doesn't have in the back of his mind I could be Prime Minister in the Lord's government.
exactly,
Yeah.
and I think that's the thing. Connor, he's always got some immensely elaborate plan which he's got in his head, which is just utter rubbish.
He probably wrote his letter to himself before the King's Speech failed. You know, the letter that he sends to all the Prime Ministers. I remember receiving mine, and as we all know, Steve R. Bruce got a custom one, a very special custom one that he cannot share the details of because it was custom and special, and he's not going to send it to anyone. But yeah, Connor probably had that written out for himself before he
Your diary.
even failed the King's Speech.
Yeah, it's a bit stupid. So, moving on though, how long do you think this Lord's government is going to last?
Well,
Well, they say
said
2
4
weeks. Was it
No, it's a
4?
4.
Four?
Yeah.
Mad,
Oh my life!
mad.
Because
4
this is
weeks.
like the perfect time for them to be taking a step back. I get the 2 weeks if it's just 2 weeks because that would take us to the end of A levels and GCSEs, and
That's
then after
true.
that, everyone will have so much spare time that it'll be stupid not to hold an election then.
Can I ask
Yeah.
though, what have they actually done apart from like sock up to South Africa or a literal apartheid state and
They've
like
lost, like, Hong Kong and Canada and all that don't even like us anymore because of them.
The Cayman
Connor
Islands
meant to be
don't
like-
like Connor.
isn't Connor meant to be like the like foreign affairs expert and then like Sheikh is like the self-proclaimed man who can move mountains in the
Yeah,
in
exactly.
UN? Like what's
Honestly,
going on?
condemned by everyone.
It's just so stupid. Honestly, the entire like foreign relations thing of this group is honestly
It's
some of the
so
funniest
bad.
stuff you'll ever see in your life because they just get trolled so hard by everyone in the UN,
Yeah,
especially Connor. Sheik
I
not so
remember-
much because Sheik is like actually gets along with quite a lot of people,
Well,
but
Yeah,
Connor
yeah.
he does. To be fair, with certain people he does actually get along pretty well.
Dumb, I'm Sheikh. It's me, Sheikh. Come on.
But
We
Who?
can bring back that article. that was such a go-to article. Man. Let me find that. Let me bring that.
But yeah,
back.
like I was saying, Connor has these like immensely elaborate plans for like talking to like different countries, which are just unbelievably funny. So the last meeting they had with South Africa, I was in a voice chat with all the South African delegates who were just trolling him because Connor's there treating them like some sort of high stakes poker game over like Lego foreign relations.
Of course.
And he's just there like, oh, we need to strategize this so we know exactly what we're doing. As he's standing there next to like Kez and stuff, and they're just there taking the piss out of them because they're just idiots.
Can we just talk about how big a Chad, right? Everyone in Hong Kong is, real quick. Can we just mention that because they literally put their necks on the line, right? Got their Dominion status revoked, and they're recognizing the legitimate king, King Joseph Wellesley. And
Bring him back.
you know, bring him back, get that out there.
Also, we didn't know
Um,
how good we had it when he was inactive.
I know. That's actually another thing we need to touch on. He was such a goated king, and we all took it for granted because
The most
Dom was
underrated.
stirring up trouble. Dom was stirring up trouble as per usual. And this guy
The
just
most
left Parliament
underrated king of
alone.
all
He let
time.
Parliament do what it needed to do. Parliament got
He did.
extremely active. Actually, fair enough. Everyone was saying it was one thing, including me. But actually, when I think about it, right, that was like just the fault of the fact that exams were coming and stuff. But realistically, right, he had Parliament active. He just focused on Westbridge, you know.
The
And
Lords lost power.
yeah, that's true.
That's why they're
true.
so annoyed.
That's true. He was a goated king, and then you get this king comes in, appoints his best friend prime minister, declares martial law, and like you know, Barry Ruark's fuming, which is number one red flag that things are going wrong, right? Because he's like bringing up all these laws that are like being broken and stuff
Yeah.
actively, and their excuse is always just, well, the king has sovereignty in this group.
Like, why? Why do they? It's not his group.
No, this is
Yeah.
Quentin Wesley's group, who doesn't play Roblox and hasn't played it for like
Exactly.
5 years.
Yeah, he's a real winner. He's just getting like group payouts, just like buying.
No, to be fair, he
bro.
does.
Like,
It's actually, if you
yeah.
when I was like, I was talking to Jeff about this like a year ago, and every Sunday Quentin would come on the British Sovereign account and just drain every single UK group of all the Robux,
To be fair,
and then dev exit.
these riots have bought him so many drugs from like from the group payouts. It's crazy. Like he gets like 90 player servers all throughout the day. He must be balling.
He probably is.
Yeah.
He's profiting out of all the unpaid devs' work.
Oh dear.
Like
Now
he's
that-
got a
that's
proper
the reason
decent
why
pyramid
Joseph-
scheme
None of the
working
devs
here.
get paid, do they?
No,
It's why
so
Joseph's a goat. He treats it like a full-time job, but he doesn't get paid because he's a goat.
he gets paid by
He's the
Sammy
goat.
Studios. Is who he gets paid by, which
Yeah.
has the best Roblox models in the market. We sell Joseph
Oh,
Wesley's
here we
models
go.
as found in Westbridge for
I
great
t-
prices. SammyStudios.co.uk. Check
I'll
it
tell
out.
you what, Joseph deserves to be paid in the gratitude of the British people for his hard work as king
Hmm.
and his the fact that he promoted legitimate government.
Through not doing anything. So
didn't
give
fair
him
game
space
to
roles.
him.
Who knew? Who knew that the king who didn't care, we'd miss it so much
He
because
cared
he
the
didn't care.
most.
He really
True,
did.
that's true. He cared the most.
He was doing like a next level scheme to keep
Yeah.
us all active by
It was
Not doing
it was through his love that he actively decided not to participate in anything political because he knew that the temptation was always there that he might, you know, overstep his power and appoint his best friend Robbie to be prime minister. So
But he didn't.
he didn't.
Talking of which, who would you want to be the next king? After
None of them.
I want Joseph Wellesley back.
I
I
was
think he's
honestly,
a goat.
I was so hyped to have Oliver as king. I thought that would have been amazing.
Mm.
Was
Didn't,
he-
he say he didn't want to be
was
it
he
there or
king?
something?
He should have been. He was the next in line
Yeah, I remember.
And then
he
they
was
were
Prince of
Yeah, he
Wales.
said.
for ages, but I suppose he's being a normal human being and having a life instead of playing Roblox.
Sack
So
them off and have a king election.
Mm. Take notes, Lord's government.
Yeah.
King
I want
election.
Joseph reinstated, to be fair, and I actually think Robbie is such an underrated. Well,
Yeah.
he's not underrated to the people in the royal household, but I think outside the royal household, he doesn't get enough credit. Because I mean, you look at like the royal family feed that literally 0 people care
He's
about.
the
right?
only person.
He's
He's the
he single-handedly
only one doing
micromanaged
stuff.
all of it.
Yeah. He is the only one doing stuff. Like, let's look at the past. Okay, since Connor became prime minister, when was that?
The
Oh,
Duke
that's
of
actually
York.
wasn't that recent.
The Duke
Look,
of York.
Duke of York
Duke of
has
York,
visited
the
the
Duke of
Westbridge
York.
Reserve Centre, met with members of the Royal Logistics Corps. The Duke of York visited some New Zealand thing, my bad, infantry
He was
regiment,
there
and
in
became
Port Stanley.
colonel. He went to he met the Royal Corps of Army Music. He's just a goat. I mean, Duke of York attended state opening of Parliament.
Yeah,
Duke
he
of York
honestly
read the King's Speech.
carries everyone so hard.
Yeah,
And I think
mean,
the entire like thing
Parliament,
with him
he
becoming a
wasn't even
royal
there.
was he wasn't allowed to be king. That was like the rule. I remember someone telling me that.
He should be king of my book.
he should be king. He should be king. I think that
think-
we should behead Anthony Wellesley personally and
I think we should also.
appoint him king.
Anthony, like
President,
unironically,
President.
has the worst track record for out of any like of the kings, especially from like BF. Because do you remember Anthony was like put in charge of the Paras
Yeah,
for a bit?
Paras, right? Yeah.
He was so unbelievably useless. It was
Is he good
He
at
was-
combat?
no, he
'Cause I
didn't
swear, like,
attend a
Paras,
single
like-
event.
Did
So-
he did he pass a Pecoy?
No, he didn't actually ever
Wow.
attend a jump training. So he
Oh.
came to one inspection where he said, "Oh, I'm going to be a great commander. I'm going to be so active." And then for like 4 months, he just doesn't show up to anything ever at all. And then we get him removed by Noah.
Well,
But
he
it's
shows
just-
up when there's an opportunity to put his best friend as prime minister, doesn't he?
Exactly.
He really turns up then, yeah.
Someone in the chat has said, I wanted Raptus as king.
Now.
That would've been pretty base.
That's quite a controversial pick. That's quite. I can see it happening, but it's quite a controversial pick.
What's happened to has Raptors been seen since his
Is he still in the
disappearance?
Discord?
No, I think he must have
I'm
left
pretty
it.
sure he was
He has.
spotted by a local primary school, and then he wasn't seen again after that.
Oh,
So it's all up in the air
Bring him
right
back.
now. Yeah.
yikes!
Yeah.
Was he? What was it that he got banned from there? Was it just being like a massive racist or
Well,
the Nazi stuff?
Yeah, that was like
It's for
we
loads of
kind of
stuff,
like
wasn't
put a lot of pressure. I'm not sure if you remember, like we had like whole movement and stuff.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember like something about
and
it.
we,
We
like,
There's
just
a
put
million
a lot of
fans. I am
pressure.
one of them.
And then like we put a lot of pressure, and then he ended up getting sacked as commissioner. And oh no, he resigned before he could sack. And then the same happened
Yeah,
with group
he did get
stuff. One
sacked.
sec. And then I think he just left. He was a disgraced man with a silly blue roll in the Discord, but met police, nothing else. And then he left.
Tut.
Yeah. So I definitely do not support Raptors as king.
No.
I do. I was the only one backing him. Who is Raptus? To the blind, he is the light. To the
Shut
hungry,
up.
he is the
My
bread.
man.
I remember
To
you
the sick,
stabbing
he is the
that.
cure.
I remember
Yeah,
you
I was
stabbing
just
that.
like,
That was
If
when
Raptus only
when it
has
all
one
kicked
fan,
off, I was
it's
just
me.
making shit posts like 24/7.
Nice.
yeah.
Right, we're gonna. Is Bloke coming on? I think Blokeston. We're dialing into Hong Kong now.
Oh my
We're
god.
gonna see if we can get him on.
It's like 2 a.m. there, but he's still pulling
Bzz.
through.
Dialing into Hong Kong, role playing in the chat. Quick. I think. Do we have a connection there to Hong Kong? Hello, is that Mr. Blokeston?
Salutations.
All my life, we have a connection with the governor of Hong Kong.
Wow.
How is it over in Hong Kong today?
I mean, practically nothing's fucking changed.
So, can you explain your position on George? I mean, the king, whatever he is.
Well, we still have Joseph as our king, so
Nice.
that's changed for us. We
I
never
respect that.
recognised his ascension.
Yeah.
We were pretty ahead of a curve knowing this shit was coming, so there is that.
So, what's like your plan now? Are you going to try and become a Dominion again, or are you just done with UK and its crap for now?
I mean, like I said, it makes no difference to us, so there's no real point pushing to become a Dominion again. I mean, even just the phrase Dominion, like, this isn't the Empire anymore. What's the fucking point?
Yeah, that's a good point.
True.
Get that in your brain, shake. Trying to put in like the British Raj and stuff. Yeah, get out of here.
Oh, yeah, when you British India, but it's not
British-
fucking a
British.
colony. What?
British.
Do me a favour.
Yeah, that was like the cringiest thing in the UN when there was
And
And he had that like
India group.
he had that like title, didn't
Like,
he? Or like one of them had that like
Northern Rhodesia
title.
and stuff.
There was like Lord Protector of the Indian Empire or something. I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Nice. There are so
They
many
still
like
have,
cringe kids like that.
They still have
Can you
Viceroy as a
explain-
title, don't they?
Yeah, I
Can you
think they're
explain what the utopian society is like that exists within a country that has Joseph Wellesley as its monarch?
Well, the streets aren't burning down for a start. You don't have constant toxicity in the chat every 5 seconds.
Sounds nice.
Things just
Just
tick
sounds
along
like
as they normally should.
You don't need group
Nice.
staff coming and implementing a slow mode every 2 seconds.
Yeah. Or hiding political discussion chats where no one can see them, and then arguing with the group owner about putting them back in.
Oh dear.
Because, you know, as soon as you're Prime Minister, you instantly own the UK chat, of course.
It's very true. Many a time, Dina Heathcote tried to delete the politics discussion but was blocked.
Alright,
So,
well,
what
I
are
think
you
I'm
doing
gonna
about
go.
South Africa?
South Africa? Well,
Yeah.
Yes.
don't really think much, to be honest. All they do is saber rattle, and that's pretty much it.
Nice. Because it's pretty, in the nicest way possible, it's a dead country. Same with like Pakistan. Because it's owned by the same guys in it. Ayan owns them both.
Yeah.
And both of them are just dead, and they're
Dead
just full of
bums.
people who come on for like a war as clanners, if that. So, it's not the end of the world.
Alright, well thank you for having me, Sammy, on your
Oh,
Steam show
problem.
on the best news network out there.
yes.
GB News.
Justice
Big up.
Justice for GB News. Our rights have been stolen by some guy who doesn't even use it.
Really?
Yep, and
Are we illegal now?
literally registered his GB News a minute
Pirate
after.
TV.
Oh no.
The hour after GB News got deregistered for inactivity because we all left for A levels, he registered his GB News. Now he won't
He
get
like
his
registered
trademark.
Sammy Studios as one of his own
Anyway.
trademark
Treasury
names.
staff.
Yeah, justice for GB News. Thank you for having me. I'm gonna go eat.
Okay, nice. Okay, we'll probably go for like another 5 minutes, and then we'll call it a night for the rest of us. But what else is like happening, which I could ask about? So, did Connor try and talk to you at all recently, Brookston, or?
Oh no. I can show you the FCO chat if you want. I literally
Yes.
just
Yes,
I
please.
forwarded on the message from my chief secretary,
Okay.
and Connor, in his despotic wisdom, hating all elected officials, instantly replied with, "Thank you, President Blogston."
Nice. Okay. So, you and Connor don't have like a good friendship. Where did like the beef come from originally?
Um, obviously, I ran the Ulster Defence Corps.
Talking
I'm
of which,
willing
can you give
to
me a
bet.
link to that if it's still going, please? Now that I'm not in BF.
It's not. It got spam reported by certain elements.
Oh,
Cringe.
So Roblox goes with the whole "Ooh, the red hand is terrorism." So scary.
Hmm.
Even though we only used the county of Ulster's coat of arms.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how did that like make Connor mad then?
thank you, President.
Well, pretty much half of his defense force ended up either rage quitting or defecting to us.
Nice.
We ended up leaking a lot of his security documents as well.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Because I was in all special constabulary. We were doing the same thing. Me and Alfie were on alts in Ireland at the time, and we had like alts in all their Discord channels for their thing, which was quite good.
Yeah, we were. We were doing it in coordination with another wild boy at the time.
Yeah, because me and Alfie were doing it for Jack.
Yeah.
On the alts for him. And did you see us on like because we got like a special kit in Ireland, so we could just walk past them in like civvy clothing, but it had like AKs and stuff,
Yeah.
and we just go shoot them, which is quite good.
Oh god, code
And then
black
they-
sweater.
I know. And then they had like the proper lockdown in the Discord when they thought they'd been breached or something, and you had to like screen share your computer
Yeah.
to make sure you weren't an alt or something stupid.
That's because they found out that I was in there along with full of my guys,
yeah.
and they ended up doing the screen share thing. And I can't remember who. I think it might have been Tom at the time. He got really pissed about it.
Yeah, because that was crazy because they legitimately. So I had to quickly like change my desktop so it wasn't anything like be linked back to me, and then I went and had to screen share my computer some like 12-year-old Irish Defence Force kid to prove that I wasn't some alt. When like on the other screen I had a
No
Discord call
way.
with me and Jack in a Discord with Alfie. It was so stupid.
God, it's such a fucking violation of privacy.
I
I don't
know.
know where they think like they get off.
Like it was unbelievable because they probably made me like go through my alt Discord account also. So it was like, oh, can you show me your messages? Type in the name Sammy to see if you've been messaging him and all that stuff. It's quite good.
God, I'm pretty sure my alt's still in there.
I know there's a couple. I think mine is, and I know another Wild Boys still is. So, Connor, if you're watching, be on the lookout.
If you're watching, your Defence Force FTX is a shit.
Yeah, they are unbelievably bad. And I also caught an exploiter who had been like BF permanently blacklisted on an alt in their group. Also, it was, honestly, whoever's doing their background checks is an idiot.
Pretty
Like,
sure like 20% of their group were just exploiters at that point.
Yeah,
Especially the fucking INLA.
yeah.
But
All the
better now,
IRA
but-
kids had like snaps and stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's so true.
You had nothing.
Okay. Other than that, is there anything else you want to say before we can close up for the night, or?
Robbie has reaffirmed his commitments to the RHKR. Based
Nice.
Robbie.
That's what I'd
Um,
like to hear.
Tom doesn't actually understand that most of the royal household and family like HK.
Yeah, I'm like Oliver and stuff are all like devs in your group, aren't they? And so is Joseph. So
Joseph goes on the beat for like the RHKR. No,
Nice.
RHKP sometimes.
I swear he like made all the cars also.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Nice.
He's doing all the buses and stuff for us at the moment as well.
Cool. But yeah, other than that, I think we might probably call it a night for the Sammy show. It's been great having everyone on. It's been good times had by all. I do want to quickly say something though from the Cayman Islands, who just sent me a message. Their governor Alfie, he's just telling me now about how Conor Novak blocked the Cayman Islands becoming a dominion, and he's very angry about this.
He
So,
has
yeah.
a habit of this. Before, when he was in charge of Dominion Hood status, I think when he was like secretary of the FCO or something, he tried to bust HK down to a British overseas territory so he could try and force a deployment.
But why does
Fair,
it
at this
matter?
point-
For
at this point,
because
I
he
don't know why he'd
was
want to be a Dominion.
absolutely having a wet dream over the MOD, which he now has. Which
Oh, that
nobody
is something
wants.
which is stupid. Honestly, Connor having any involvement at all in BF, it just can't happen because he's such an idiot. Like the entire point of BF is just going on shooting people and having a laugh with like your mates, especially like the army bit. If you've got Connor enforcing like, what's the best way of saying, like nanny state sort of. You know how Ireland has like a really, I don't know how to describe it, but they have like a really sheltered experience, if you know what I mean, where it's very, I don't know what good for it is. It's very mild in like what people will say and what people do, and I think part of BF is the sort of roughness where people will call you like a retard, and if Connor's there, that won't be happening because he'll be like, oh no, it's stupid, you can't call people that, it's mean. But no, if someone's like a retard, you just call them a retard.
Yeah, I know. It's meant to be like a laugh in that light. Some people just.
Yeah, but
serious.
whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's Lego at the end of the day. But yeah, it's been great having you on. Thanks for coming on. Tune in next time to the Sammy show. We don't know when it's going to be. Probably be after exams, which will be in about 2 weeks because Orba's now finishing up our A levels. But other than that, have a great evening. Down with the Lord's government. Hoorah!
So true.